My name is Jasmine Jones, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today, we are reviewing Wakanda Forever. And we are sipping on movie theater icy and vodka, yeah. The reason why I'm just like, that shit is just emotionally draining. I was just sitting up in there just like, oh my gosh. And the thing is, it's not that I didn't even cry during the movie. I didn't cry. It was just like, just reliving that man is gone. And from the very beginning, like, they had a funeral. And let me just say, spoiler alerts. If you're watching a review, then you know it's going to be spoiled. So please don't watch it. Yes, because some people you have to tell them in the beginning of the show, even though it's in the title. And the title also says review. And, you know, for those people. So anyway, so in the beginning of the movie, they're at the funeral. He's dying. He's dead. No, he's dying from some unknown disease. So we're just going to put the disease that he died from into the movie. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? A bitch be tired. I can't even start the movie without all this just sadness and despair. And I'm just like, it was a lot. But it was like, I felt the heavy emotional weight, but I didn't cry just because I didn't even cry when he died. I cried when he came on that video and everybody was talking shit, and I know what death looks like, okay? I lived in a house full of old people and they was just dying one by one from cancers and random shit and all this other stuff. Because, you know, when you grow up in the 90s, your aunties and uncles and shit be in their 50s already. Like, you know, so like I grew up in a house of ailments and we were poor. So like ailments and things, I literally thought that it was normal that my mom had to walk with a walker at 40 because she had arthritis. I thought that was a normal, like, that's what happens when you turn 40. And I'm just like, so I know what death looks like. And that man, I knew he was going to die when I saw that video. And I think I cried for 30 minutes after that video. And I just was praying to God to heal whatever was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong with him. But I know long-term sickness when I see it. And I was just like, please heal this man. Please don't take him away from. And then when it happened, I had already grieved. I had already cried. I had already just been sad because I knew it was going to happen. And so I didn't cry when he died. I didn't cry during the movie. I just felt the heavy weight of sadness from everything. And it's like a weight. The movie was good, though. Like, they did that man good in that movie. The movie was good, and the whole movie isn't about that man died. It's not about Jack Bowman dying. But, like, the parts where these people can act, and they know how to project, and I don't think it was acting. That was their friend. Shit, let me shut the fuck up. That was their friend. That was like family. Like, when you on a set, I'm sure, like that they say in the documentaries, you become family. And like you filming for 6 months in the same place, 6 months to a year or whatever fuck, in the same place, doing the same thing all the time. That's your family. And so he died in the movie from some unknown disease. And then white people steal white people and trying to steal their vibraniums and whatever the fuck it's called. And the queen go out, and we just get these wonderful shots of, let me look at her name because I'm drunk and I don't know what the fuck her name is. What's her name? What's the queen's name? Lord Jesus, this woman has been on all the movies and I'm sitting up here forgetting her fucking name. Angela Bassett. Yes. We have come the closest that we will ever see Angela Bassett as Storm. They gave her this cute little white afro, and it was just like, yes, this is Storm gracefully aging and still looking like almost like she did in Ike and Tina Turner, and What Love Got to Do with It. And, you know, this is Storm. For me, the whole movie, she was Storm when she revealed that, you know, afro situation. So, you know, she's trying to tell these white people, like, y'all need to stop trying us because women are the ones that run the armies, and like we've been running the armies. Like the Black Panther, like, don't that nigga just got super strength? I'm just saying, like Namor over here flying, okay, and so it takes a village, and this village, this city, this world is together and bonded, and stop trying to steal from people of color. How about that? Because that's what happened. These white people. I think that woman was Latina, so she'll be white adjacent because she's doing white people like shit. They was down there digging in the ocean trying to find other sources of vibranium because white people are gonna white people and they want to destroy the world and chaos. Boom boom, let's make a big ass weapon and kill each other. And so they dig it in the ocean and they tap on his little country, his underground, under the water, under the sea. See, that's why. See, under the sea. Shut up, bitch. They come up and kill their ass. The whole ship dead. And so they thinking it's the Wakandans. And they say it like they say it's nigga. It was the Wakandans. It was them niggas. So I was just like, I see. Because that's how they say. I don't care. It's the Wakandans. And so, anyways, he goes to Wakanda. No, let's talk about this first. So throughout the whole movie, Shuri is going through stages of grief. There's 5 stages of grief. So it's on my computer because, like I said, I'm drunk. This is at least the therapeutical, psychological shit. I need to make sure it's right because I'm not having nobody come for me saying you just making up some hoo-ha shit because you think you the boss bitch. No. So anyways, there's 5 stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And so Shuri is obviously in the anger, portion of this throughout the whole movie. She's angry that her brother's gone, wanting vengeance after her mom is killed. Yes, her mom is killed. Spoiler alerts. I feel like Angela Bassett, she's strong. She's a strong woman. She was doing them sci-fi movies and shit in the late 90s and the early 2000s and stuff, and she could do everything. But she is getting up there in age, and so I understand why they had to kill her character off. Can't be doing, even if she only do partial stunts, just standing on set. It's exhausting as you get older to just be doing all this active movements and shit. So I understand why they had to let her just rest off the series or whatever. But anyways, so Shuri's going through anger. I think her mother was like at the acceptance stage because she allowed herself to grieve. She went out into what she said, the bush, into the wilderness, and she just sat with her emotions. She was mindful of how she was feeling, and whatever emotion came up, she just let it kind of roll through her like a wave, and she processed it, and she questioned herself, and she came in tune with her son, and came in tune with the ancestors and stuff, and she let it go, and now that's why she can rule her country properly. So that's the thing. It's about getting to acceptance so that you can. And it's not that she let her son go. She let go of the majority of the grief that was holding her back, that wanted to make her stay in a denial or anger or bargaining or depression space. And she allowed herself to accept that this is what the reality is, and he is in a better place, and I'm going to carry him in my heart forever. But I still have to live on. And so that's where mommy was. Shuri was angry. She was in the bargaining situation when he was on death's door. She was trying to like bargain and figure out like how to make the plan and do so she can bring him back to life. And, we didn't get to see the other parts like depression or denial. Sometimes we don't experience the other parts. Oh, excuse me. There's no order to how we experience these 5 parts of grief. One morning we may wake up and be in denial, and the next morning we may be on the precipice of acceptance. It just depends on the day, the mood, and how you're processing it. That's why we give folks about 2 months to be in the deepest part of grief to where it looks like depression. Ain't bathing, crying, cutting your hair off, doing all the stuff that you have to do to release the majority of the grief that's holding you back before we start calling it depression. And so, she was in the anger part of it, just buried deep in it. And sometimes we stay stuck in that anger part of it. And, like Namor, we may turn into sociopaths because, his mother was violently taken from, or no, his mother's land was violently raped and pillaged, and he saw that as a child and all this other stuff. And, seeing that shit over and over again and being angry and wanting vengeance and you just stay in that space of, I need to do whatever I need to do to get what I want because I feel like the vengeance will make me feel better, and fuck everything else. So if I have to beg, borrow, steal, kill, destroy, pillage too, the things that what I was upset about happening to my folks, and it's just Disney. And, I know Disney wasn't going to go all the way there, but I was just like, Namor, really? Really, Namor? You really want to destroy the world? Or do you want to destroy the white people that raped and pillaged the world and colonized everybody and things like that? Because let's make it clear, the facts of the truth, and history says it all. We know who raped and pillaged the world. Okay, because people of color were living with nature, we were vibing, we were doing our thing, and we would have little skirmishes in our own countries and continents and tribes and stuff, but we wasn't trying to go all the way across the world and like, let's take this continent, and I'm gonna put up how the Queen of England owns almost about 75% of the world. That's what we call white supremacy. Okay, that family owns 75-80% of the land in the world. They own it because of colonialism and raping and pillaging and things. So we know, but Disney's not gonna go there. So they made it seem like he wanted to destroy the world. Okay, I was just in my head like, you sure you don't want to just keep it to Europe? Just keep it. Not even all of Europe, because not all the motherfuckers was taken over. It was just like a certain section of Europe that was doing that. But I'm not saying it was right, okay? I'm just saying that if you're gonna do something, get the facts straight before you murder innocent people who had nothing to do with taking and enslaving of others. Yes. Let's get it. Just all I'm saying. Just get the facts straight. Anyways, so Shuri's throughout this movie is trying to move towards an acceptance state. That's the process of the movie, but she's not there yet. So mommy takes her out on the beach. She wants her to sit in the bush. She wants her to have the whole mindfulness moment too, finish the traditions, things like that, burn the funeral clothes because it's been a year, and start to heal properly. But Shuri's just stuck in, like, she wants to throw off tradition. She's stuck in her science. She just wants to bury herself in science and make sure that she can do everything she can to protect the is it a city? Is it a country? It's a country. They keep saying it's a country. It's a country. She want to do everything she can to protect the country. And so, she is in an anxious state too. So what happened is, because her brother died, but he died because Killmonger killed all the plants, because he's a Killmongerer. She couldn't recreate the plant to bring him back to life, and so that was their only chance of healing him, because the plant heals and shit. You with me? Yes. So anyways, she mad and she's angry and she doesn't want to do the rituals and do the thing and release the grief and whatever. So, Namor pops up while they on the beach. He just be sneaking in the water and shit, looking fine as he want to look, just Aztec-y, Latino, all of that, sexy. coming up out the water talking about you need to fight with us and you need to bring us the scientists that could find that made the machine to find the vibraniums and shit and da 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 da. And they're like, how the fuck you get here, nigga? Da, 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 da. And so they find a girl and it's Riri Williams, so she's the next Iron Man. And they take her back to Wakanda, or they're trying to take her back to Wakanda, but then Namor takes them underneath the sea, under the sea. And so, like, Namor is showing, what's the sister's name? Shira? Oh my gosh, see, this is why I got the computer on. Shuri. Yes, Shuri. She took Shuri in this big old bulky ass suit onto his ancient Aztecian, city under the water. And it's beautiful. Because they played the trailer for Avatar right before that, and if you've seen the trailer for the new Avatar, you see that they can make it look like daytime under the water, is all I'm saying. Either Disney can't afford what that nigga did, because that nigga has to take at least 10 years per movie, and he does all this fanciful stuff, and he gets investors, and but it's Disney, so I'm just like, but Disney's like a whole situation. Like, you can't bring some light, because it was, I don't like watching dark ass movie. And then I was in the IMAX, and so I had that shades on, and the shades, they try to make it not tint, but it tints, and so it was even darker than it needed to be. I'm just saying, like, you can't play Avatar and then it look like they walking in the daylight underneath the water, swimming in the daylight, and then play the movie and it's like dark and you gotta squint and you gotta be, oh, this does look pretty from what I can see, everything gotta be realistic. I don't care. So I'm just wondering, because Disney's like a whole studio production, whatever the fuck, all of Disneyland and all that shit, why they couldn't, light that motherfucker up like an Avatar. That's all I'm saying. Like, just lighten it up and shit. Like, I don't know, he did some special shit though. On the thing, they said that he like got a special effects underwater 900 some millimeter some shit camera and did all this extra. So he did some extra shit. So this is like new, and people copy him. Like, people take shit that he did from Avatar, so he doing new innovative shit. So I can't even be like, we gonna see it next. We may not see it in The Little Mermaid either, because that shit look dark too, but we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it one day in all the movies. When they go underwater, it's gonna look like daytime. So we can see what the fuck is happening. But it was pretty from what I could see, the way they situated the city, and it was like these little pods everywhere, and they was swimming around. It was blue and shit like the Avatar, but just like people that dress up like the Avatar for Halloween. It wasn't bad. It was just like, you could tell that there's people covered in blue paint. Like, that's all. Like, I guess because we so used to CGI, it's just like, oh, look, it's the people covered in blue paint. That's amazing. So he was under the water, and I like how, I think what makes these movies good too is because they incorporate so much from the cultures of color. They incorporate that into the storyline, and so it can touch the hearts of so many more people outside of white people. And that's what brings people to the theater, because you took time to learn about people's culture. Like, the Namor is like the Aztec snake god or some shit. And if I'm wrong. Please correct me. But like the Aztec snake god or something. If they're Mayans, please, they're Aztecs or Mayan. They're native Latin people. They're not even Latin, because that's from Spain. They're native people in the lower countries underneath the United States. There you go. Leave me alone. And so, they incorporate all these folks' cultures and shit into the story, and it just makes it magical. Like, when he's talking about how his mom was like how him and his mama and her people were being pushed out of their country by these white people, because Spain is in Europe, they're white people. And, and they had to drink this plant they found and then just go in the ocean and live under the water and shit like that. And how she always missed her home and she always wanted to go back to her home and she wanted to be buried there. Because, them was first generations. They didn't want to be under the water. If you know what it's like to be above land and walk around without water and shit everywhere, and you don't got to be looking through water all the time, like, I wouldn't want to be. It's cold. It's like, it's cold. Like, and so anyways, they drank the plant and she drank the plant and she was pregnant, so the chief had to basically gaslight her. It's the truth. It's the truth. Gaslight her, drink the plant, and Namor was the only one born with all these magical powers, so he's like the first mutant or whatever, like the X-Men. And I was like, so what's the difference between like the Avengers? Oh, and the X-Men. So the X-Men, because they're born with shit like that, and the Avengers, like the Hulk, that shit just kind of happened to him because he was making mistakes in the laboratory. And then Loki and Thor are gods, so they're not from this place. And the rest of them built they shit or took some magical medicine and shit. Like, I'm still not over Captain America just being strong and living a long time. Like, I need more superpowers than that for you to be the leader of a whole conglomeration of people with powers. You know what I mean? Like, look at Professor X with X-Men and shit. Like, he can make your fucking brain explode. It don't matter what your he can find you around the world from his machine and shit and just throw his mind out. And, you know what I mean? Like, that's the type of, I like all powerful motherfuckers. I don't care. My goal in life is to be like One Punch Man. You just all powerful, but you just chill about it. You just like, I'm a chill individual. Like, I sit up here and play video games and eat, but I know I'm powerful. And that's all I need. It's like why I want to be, it's part of why I want to be a therapist. It's like, I like to hear, I'm nosy. I like to hear stories and hold them. I don't want to gossip. I don't need to tell people your secrets. I just know them. And that's like contentment for me. Like, oh, you trusted me with things. Like, I'm a trustworthy person. That makes me feel good. Because then the opposite of that is being untrustworthy. And, people like that are trash. So that just constantly reminds me that I'm not a trash person. There you go. See? And then just to be all powerful, like One Punch Man, and then just to be as chill as that nigga is all the time, just like, I guess I will save you guys, and then go back to watching fucking TV and shit. It's just magical to me. Like how you can just have everything in the world and just not be conceited, just be regular, just be chill, and just be like, whatever. But if you try me, I'm gonna fuck you up. I think it's because it makes me feel safe. It's like, I will always be safe. Nobody can fuck with me. I could walk down an alleyway at 3 a.m. and I will not be afraid to get shot or mugged or raped or murdered or sold into the sex trade because I'm One Punch Man. Fuck with me if you want to, nigga. I will kill you. And that is just a magical feeling. You know what? I think I want that feeling for everybody in the world, especially women, especially black women. Everybody need to be like One Punch Man. Just got all these powers to never ever get hurt, but you just chill. You just relaxed with it. Like, I don't need to take over the world. I don't need to blow shit up. I just need to relax and chill and stuff like that. So, that's why I would just be looking at that weak ass Captain America and I would just be like, nigga, I bet a good laser shot to the forehead could kill you. Like some Superman shit or some shit. Like, it's hard to kill Superman. Like, unless you got some kryptonite, it's hard to kill that nigga. You don't have to try that hard with Captain America. You just gotta be sneaky. You just gotta be sneaky. That's all. Iron Man was covered in iron, and then he had the lasers, and he could fly and do shit. He could get away. Like, that's safer to me. I don't want Captain America's power. So What was I talking about? They under the water and he telling them about all the shit. Then we get back to the top and his sociopathy comes out because all of that was his sob story. Because so how people will manipulate people is that they will try to hook them in, bait them with a sob story. This thing happened to me, and that's why you gotta be careful when you go on dates and someone is like spilling out their traumas to you at the table. Like, you're a stranger. I don't know you. I don't need to know that your mama used to hit you in the face when you were 4. Like, maybe that would be something over time, you know, 3 months, 4 months, talking, getting to know each other, that you just kind of open. I've shown you things about me that are trustworthy. You show me things about you that are trustworthy. And then we talk about our traumas and shit, just to let each other know, like, that we see each other as trustworthy, and let each other know where we're coming from and why we react the way we react to certain things and stuff like that. But no, like, this nigga, that was his sob story. And that's why I don't feel bad for him. Because no, you used you and your people to manipulate this girl who wasn't even going to do nothing to y'all. They would have kept that girl in Wakanda and been chilling. But because he's so jaded and untrusting of anybody, he just can't. And it's cemented in him. With Shuri is in a space where she is hurt, but she's just been surrounded by so much love and support, and she has so much evidence of it in her life on a regular basis that no matter all the bad shit that happens, that shit like comes up eventually because that's who she is. But like, this nigga's stuck in it. That's how it turned into sociopathy. So sometimes we just stay stuck in that angry part of trauma, that survival part of trauma, and the only thing that we feel will keep us safe is if we can manipulate and control everything around us. And sometimes we get to the point where we don't really have any feelings or emotions or anything like that. Maybe none outside of anger, and outside of the adrenaline rush that someone gets from hurting somebody. And so that then becomes their focus is, I'm going to hurt or do illegal shit, or just because that's the only time I feel things, Maybe he's more of a narcissistic sociopath because he needs the encouragement of his people. Like, he needs to feel like a god amongst them, even though he's a mutant. He's a person. He just has powers. And so, he switched it up on her and was just like, okay, so it's not even about the scientists anymore. It's not about Riri. It's about, I want to now destroy the whole entire world because it's the upper world, because they like have enslaved us. And I was like, was it all of the upper world, Namor, that enslaved? Was it really? Is it all of the upper worlds? Like every last one of every people in every country, really, Namor? But Disney's not gonna. It's fine. It just makes it seem like, the whole world was involved in slavery and pillaging and raping people, not just white people. Okay, girl. Because Disney doesn't want to be completely honest, because then they'll look like, the white people will be mad. Well, we know what you mean, Namor. I just need you to say it, because when you say things like kill everybody, destroy the world, you need to direct that at the right people and not at innocent people. Like maybe certain people in certain governments or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. I don't condone it. I'm just saying, if you're going to do it right. Okay, Disney? Because now you got motherfuckers out here thinking that, slavery of people involve the whole of the upper world, because there's going to be a few of them people out there, especially if they're young or kids or some shit like that, whose parents aren't going to correct that shit if they do get that implanted in their head, and they may grow up like that. And that's why we can't talk about slavery and, racism in the South, because they want to pretend like slavery didn't happen. This is how that happens. We don't want to talk about critical race theory, because this is the shit that made that happen, because we're not going to be honest. Okay, but it's fine. Anyways, he shows her who he really is, turns the whole sociopath. Then her mama comes to see her and talk to him. So basically the trick is they don't get, what's her name? Nakia. So Nakia was in Haiti. I like how she said it. I think, but I may be saying that. I'm just gonna say Haiti because we're not gonna sit up here and pretend like we can take on an accent and a patois that goes into saying the other way and stuff. But what I mean. So she was in Haiti teaching little children and things like that. And then the Angela Bassett come and she want her to infiltrate and find Shuri. And so she finds Shuri and gets her while Angela Bassett is like the distraction. And so she telling him like, what do you want? I want my daughter. This nigga plays a cold, dead-eyed motherfucker so well. And I was just like, why his eyes dead and they turned red? And I was just like, this nigga's scary. And you know what? Everybody put a little bit of himself in the acting. He was cute for a minute, but then he turned into that shit. And I was just like, oh, this seems too real. You used to be a very good actor, or I feel like maybe a little bit of yourself is in this, so I'm just gonna back away because your eyes just look, even without the red, whatever they did to him, it's just I'm just gonna. And he's just like, I will, if your ships come into my ocean, if you tell anybody in the outside world about us, I will kill Wakanda and watch you die screaming, or some bullshit that he was saying. But they got Shuri. And then this nigga will come and blow that shit up. Water everywhere and all this other shit. And then Angela Bassett end up drowning and shit trying to save Riri. And I wasn't sad. I was just like, especially when you've been on some shit for a minute, like acting is hard. I don't know how niggas like just getting up and sitting and talking to y'all. This is fucking hard for me to just find energy. I just be like, oh, and then I have to edit this and find like some kind of entertaining picture situation to intersperse for like the people that find it hard to focus on just talking. And I just be like, oh my gosh, I could imagine standing on some set where they're asking me to be in various different variations of the weather, terrain, tropical, where various different variations of uncomfortable shit for hours. Like when I saw a documentary about how the Grinch stole Christmas, and it was showing us them contacts Jim Carrey had to put in his eyes, and he was just like, yeah, they covered my whole eyeball and they hurt a lot. But it's for the crowd. I was just like, I was just sitting there looking. I was like, this some shits I would just not do. Like, I can't wear uncomfortable like anything for too long of a period of time. I don't like being uncomfortable. Everything I do is in the goal of searching for relaxation. And hearing that you have to do some shit like that and be uncomfortable for hours, and like I be watching them people be putting the makeup on their skin and doing all the FX and stuff to their skin, and I'm just like, I would break out so bad if I had all that shit on my face. I'm not doing that. Or just having to wear makeup all the time, like my skin is sensitive. No, like when I was in Greece, like I was just like, why is my whole jaw area flaring? I had acne and shit. I was mad. And I was just like, these little facial kits are not cutting it like my skincare routine at home. My routines make me feel comfortable, and I just going without having to put shit on my body that's uncomfortable. Like then I end up smelly and just things rubbing up against me and ugh. I couldn't act. I'm not acting. Memorizing lines and then getting stressed out because it's taking so long, and people worried about people getting mad at me because I didn't memorize the line fast enough and it's taking me a while and shit. And I just be like, I'm not doing that. Memorizing the whole character and then having to pretend to be, that nigga that played Jeffrey Dahmer talking about I was in character for 6 months before the movie. I'm just like, just like the meme said, we're not gonna act like I said that, just like the meme said, What the fuck does that mean? Was you sitting at I just imagine this nigga walking around with that deadpan face like Jeffrey Dahmer, sitting up there. You know, was you like pretending all the meat you ate was people, or was you eating people? Like, I don't think he was eating people, but I don't know these people. They're strangers. So. But anyways, so I was upset that she died. I was just like, well, she must be tired of being like on this and having to be all athletic and shit. Because that looked like that was her in the water. I mean, that they good with switching out, the stunt doubles and shit. So, but it looked like it was her in the water. And she in her 60s and shit. I don't care how much you work out. If, just in order to maintain all that, you got to relax. Because she muscular and shit, and she toned, but like in order to make, especially as you get your bones, just I feel it. Like I just like I wouldn't be jumping into that fucking water. I'm not gonna do that. Probably took like 1,500 takes. What after I stuck my toe in it? I'm like, oh, this is cold. I'm like, this is cold. I don't want. This is cold. Can we have a jacuzzi? Like, can this be warm? Like, do I have to put my face in it? Like, see, this is why they be saying actors, like some actors are disagreeable. And I believe there are some that probably like harass people on set or, gaslight or do horrible things. But, like, some of them I feel in my spirit are just like me. Like, I'm not. I was watching a show on Netflix called The Bubble, and it was basically like it bombed. Nobody liked it, but I don't think it was for us. I think it was for other people in the entertainment industry that know how tiring being on set can be. And all the shit they make you do, and then they act like you're just like a piece of furniture and shit. So put you in this frigid weather over here, and then put you in this hot weather. You can be dirty and covered in mud for 12 hours. You'll be fine. Not comprehending how that shit would affect somebody's mental health and physical. How these niggas can do, you got me fucked up. But then I like a good actor though, like a good actor that can get in the character and make you believe it. I love watching monologues. Like on YouTube, they got these people doing monologues and shit, an old actor monologue. I could pretend to do some shit like that. That's the art. You just change into a whole different person. Now all this other stuff, this FX and shit is art too. Like, I mean, but I could just imagine being a fixture in somebody else's art, and just my whole soul, body, mind is exhausted from all this shit that's on me that I have to do, all these athletic situations. And I think people like it though. Like the really good actors, they like it because of the outcome, and they know how it's going to come out. Because so now you change into this different character and doing all these amazing stunts and doing all this shit and stuff like that. And when they put it all together, you just look like a different fucking person and shit. This shit is fucking amazing. I get that. I'm just saying, for me personally, I would be excited about the outcome. But when my body starts to hurt and I start to feel tired, I'm going to hyper focus on that. And then slowly but surely, the outcome is just going to be this mirage in the distance that disintegrates and then disappears. And then I'm just like, I'm tired. Okay, I already did one take of this. I'm doing 15. You don't need that many takes. You'll be fine. So yeah, I could see why but my body's not built for that. So I congratulate all these people that could do all the Angela Bassett. If that was her in that motherfucking water and shit, even if it wasn't, she's amazing. That woman is amazing. She's a tour de force. You know, all these black women that look like me in this movie and shit. You know, they even had some black lesbians in there. Two dark skinned black lesbians. That is magical. They don't ever want to put us with our own people. I mean, it was a little itty bitty taste at the end, but it was still like, you know, Michaela Cole, she's amazing. Magical, gorgeous woman. That woman, and she knows how to like just do her skincare in a way like to just accentuate, like her makeup accentuates all of the features, and she's just beautiful. And I love that she was in this, and she was like her awkward self that she was like in Bubblegum, but like toned down. So like maybe in Bubblegum she would have been like at a 10. This was like at a 2. So I got anxiety and I'm like kind of shifty and goofy and shit. And so it was amazing, magical. So yeah, I can see why she would want to get off this shit. I would too. Anyways, I went on this fucking tangent. So she dies. They have a funeral, and then Shuri is just trapped in her vengeance. And so she makes a plan. She's going to become Black Panther. And Namor, while she was underwater, gave her the bracelet with some of the plant that they use soaked into it. And because the plant grows in the ground with vibranium, just like flower heart plant does, she took some of the enzymes or whatever the fuck off of that plant and said maybe these can show us the missing pieces we need for our plant. And she put it into the machine and then printed out a plant, and she became Black Panther and shit. And you know, we knew it was gonna happen because that was obviously her little body in the fucking previews, and niggas wanted to act like oh, there could be a man. It's like, where? It was like, that could be Michael B. Jordan. I'm just like, stop. He died and he's dead. We're not gonna. I was geeked because it was all black women. All black women that look like me. Just like niggas had that in the first Black Panther. This like verification for men and boys and stuff. Little black men, little black boys and men and shit. I loved it. It was magical for it to be a black woman that's dark and looks like me, and it's just like y'all did that. And it was magical. So you know, hey y'all, this is, well, maybe not editing Jasmine. This is sitting outside and waiting to go to my therapy appointment. Jasmine. And something that I forgot to mention in the video last night was how the movie just really illustrates black women's grief when we lose our men. You know, I think I saw this meme this morning, so let's be honest here. I didn't just up and forget. I saw this meme this morning. I was like, yeah, you know, that's important to illustrate. But basically, it's like black women's grief, and when we lose the men in our family, you know, either from abandonment or from death, and how we have to still pick up the pieces, and how it's a hard journey. You know, Shuri isn't healed. It's just like, it's the traumas that black women go through, and then how the first Black Panther illustrated the traumas of the black man in America, and, you know, colonialism and how that affects black people and all this other stuff. This illustrates the black woman's pain. Wakanda Forever illustrates the black woman's pain and her trauma, and, you know, how we have to overcome and figure things out, like during the war on drugs when they put all of our men in jail and we had to like figure that shit out, and you know, during you know, the civil rights movement, and watching our men get hung and murdered and still having to maintain the family, and during the Black Lives movement, like black women started that. Don't come for me about all the shady shit that happened. It still did some good stuff. People came together. Leave me alone. Black women started that. And it's like we're always constantly holding up the fort when our men can't or won't be there, you know. So there's some won'ts out there, so don't come for me. And so, you know, I think it's good to show, like, the progress. It's not that we just have to pick everything up and figure it out. Like, we also need to heal. We need to, let that grief out, let the pain out. And then, when we're in a settled place, then figure it out. But then also include self-care in between the figuring it out, so it's not just a whole bunch of figuring it out. So, and no care for ourselves, no recharging the battery. So I liked it. I like that illustration of just, what black women go through. Like, even Riri's dad, she kept his car, and she fixed it up, and I guess he passed or something, and then her stepdad was the one that helped her find her joy in building stuff so that she could get that pain out and create something. And so, yeah, I mean, even her, she had to figure it out and live, because what was she gonna do? Like, be sad and miserable and then spread the sad miserableness and then never do anything that actually makes her happy or changes her life or grow or change at all? Like, that's the only alternative. And like I said earlier, that just seems, or wherever I put this clip in the video earlier, or when I say it next, whatever. It's just like, if the choice is between spiraling into a pit of devastation for the rest of your life and having just this healing process throughout your whole life, that's like kind of like a chronic illness, but you can figure it out and navigate it, and still be happy and have content moments that last longer and longer the more that you practice figuring it out. I'm gonna lean that way, because I seen what happened to the folks that drown in misery, and they just don't seem happy, and bad things keep happening to them, and they hurt people, and it hurts me to hurt people. I don't do all that. That's extras. So yeah, I like that, because there's a lot of black women out there with no men in their lives, no positive men, and or they've lost the positive men in their life to death or whatever, and we're just trying to figure it out and live our lives and grow and change in the ways that make us happy. I love it. It was magical. Yes. Care. It was a good ass fucking movie. I lost where I was at. And so, oh yeah, because they wanted to be Michael B. Jordan. I'm just like, no, he's dead. Don't do that. Let little black girls have this. Y'all can share in it too. They did a beautiful montage of Chadwick Boseman throughout this whole movie. They changed the Marvel thing and did a moment of silence and put all his clips in a little Marvel thing instead of the clips from the other movies and shit. They did it. So you can have that, but we let us have this too. Like, share and shit. These are good actresses. They know what the fuck they doing. So she is Black Panther, magical. And then, in order to become Black Panther, she has to drink the little purple tea. And so she drank the purple tea, and she goes to the ancestral plane, and it's the throne room flooded with water. And I was just like, I was sitting there, and I was just like, I really hope Disney didn't do some bullshit and hologram this nigga into this. I was in there like, that would be so disrespectful. I was just like, oh my gosh, because you can't puppet a living person. Like their individual thoughts and feelings are copyable into a puppet. No, this person has a heart. Their emotions matter. Like, you can't just hologram. Like, it was wrong when they did it for Tupac. It would have been super duper hella wrong to do it for Chadwick Boseman. It was wrong. It's wrong. Like, that's why, like, what is it? The Black channel? Blacks. That show on Netflix with the anthologies, and they be cloning people's minds and making AIs out of them and artificial intelligences out of them and shit like that. And like, that is not them. Yes, they may have their own like intelligence that's artificial, but that is not the original person. The original person is a separate individual. That's like the height of I don't have empathy. I don't see people as people. I see them as objects I can copy, copy, and copy, and it just feels like it'll be the same person. No, nigga, that is a whole different person, being, mind outside of the original person. Like, you can't just copy. So I was just sitting there like, I'm gonna walk out this movie theater if these motherfuckers sat up here and made this. I wouldn't walk out the movie. I would have just been highly upset. You know, because we're almost to the movie at that point. Okay, I'm just not gonna lie. So I was just like, these motherfuckers are not hologram this thing. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's just her mom. Maybe it's Angela Bassett. You know, I hope it is. That's what I was saying to myself. I was like, I just hope it's Angela Bassett. I hope. And we get around a chair, and it's this nigga Michael B. Jordan. I was just like, it's Killmonger. I hate that I think this man is beautiful. I hate it so much because it's like, I just feel like a stranger. You should not consider a stranger like beautiful like that. But that nigga was beautiful. And then they turned the red lights on, and I was just like, oh. And so he's talking about like how she should choose fucking shit up and da da da, because she doesn't understand why he's there. And basically he's a representation of her anger and how it's been controlling her and her need for vengeance now, and it's turned into a need for vengeance. And I feel like she's directing not just the vengeance from her mother's death, but the like vengeance, like now she has a direction for her brother's death too. So Killmonger's already dead. You can't do much about that and shit. But now she can like pseudo put him on that shit too. And when she killed Namor, just expect to feel this explosion of emotion and then go back down to having that hole in your chest, because that shit didn't heal that. You just killed people. That's not gonna heal it. Vengeance and anger isn't gonna heal it. That's just you holding on to shit that's hurting you because you don't feel strong enough to heal. Healing just looks like, I accept this. I accept what happened. It's gonna hurt sometimes. So healing doesn't look like never hurting. It just looks like I can manage the pain. So it's like, you know, you have like a new little chronic illness that only pops up sporadically when you're triggered. And then you double down on your coping skills and you allow yourself to vent and cry, and then you just, move past that shit until the next time. And hopefully the next time is like so far out that you just like eventually it becomes years, because you worked on it so much that like it's just like it doesn't come up as hard when it does come up, and then it doesn't come up as often because it's like you're at peace. Like you're at peace with it. Like I'm okay with this. I'm okay that he's gone. I'm okay that, I'm okay that he's gone. Like, I'm okay. I can live. I can be alive in this world and live not just for myself, but for him as well. I mean, that's all you can really do, because the other side is I'm going to hurt people because I'm hurting. And that shit ain't fun. No, like if that's my only options, like can't be with the person, I don't die. So, I'm just gonna like find peace because that shit feels good. It feels better than wanting to hurt, because you're just feeding this monster inside of you that's always hungry, and it will never stop until the day you die. That's fucking exhausting. And I don't live the rest of my life with some grief monster inside of me, or some anger monster, or some vengeance monster, and just live like that. Like, fuck all that. I'm not. No, I want to find as much peace in this world as possible. So people die, we're gonna be sad, and we gonna heal, and we gonna live. I don't know what else to say. It's gonna take some time. I'm not saying we're gonna like just get there immediately. Shit. It could take years. It could take a good portion of your life, but as long as every step you take, every response you make towards the pain is to heal, then eventually you'll get to that point. So I feel my mom died. She died when I was 2006. I could talk about that shit. It's not gonna bother me that much. Like, it's just like you just live. I don't know. I don't know what to say. You just live. And so she's not there yet. And so Killmonger shows up to show her that she's not there yet. And so she leaves that situation with a new set of cornrows that look just like his. I'm going to call that out. And she's ready to just burn everything to the ground that looks like fish people. And so Riri got her little outfit that looked like Iron Man with a heart. And then she gives these little, like, I just didn't like the little blue outfits. I just felt like they were clunky looking, and I understood, like, why are we having we don't do capes. That's what we cannot do capes. It needs to be sleek and fit, just like yo shit. Why was they shit all clunky and weird looking? Well, I guess, okay, so this makes sense though, because in order for you to have some kind of mechanical type power like Iron Man and shit like that in that world, it needs to be something that's clunky to protect your body. But because that makes sense, because Lupita Nyong'o's shit was, I was trying to give it to him. The kid's shit was like sleek and shit, and she ain't got no fucking powers. Because I was gonna be like, oh well, Shuri's like Black Panther, so she has powers to protect her, so she doesn't need a bunch of clunky shit on her and stuff. But no, and at the very least, why are there these long ass braids in the back? Like, I was waiting for some nigga to grab it and jerk their ass back. Like, whew. I was just like, that shit isn't. I didn't like it. That's all. It's okay though. Everything else is beautiful and gorgeous and magical. And so, and I think Riri's outfit just goes towards the comic book. So, I didn't like that either. I felt it like Iron Man's was sleek and simple. And why was there this big ass clunky heart thing on the what is that? But I think that's how she looked in the comic book. So, and maybe that's how the ones in the blue things, that's how they look in the comic book. And so, they was fighting and shit on the ocean. And so they figured out that if they made him dry, if they made Namor dry, he couldn't get oxygen from the sky and the ocean. But my thing is like, oxygen is oxygen. So if he getting oxygen, like, what does it matter? Or maybe, like, is he holding his breath in the sky? Like, because there's still oxygen in the So it didn't make sense to me, but whatever. If they dried his ass out, then apparently he wouldn't be as powerful and shit. So maybe the water adds, I don't fucking know. So they got us to the desert. They was fighting, and then like Shuri got impaled on some shit. Like, he impaled her and shit, and so like, she was on that shit, and then she saw her mom, and her mom was like, be yourself, show him who you are and shit. And she realized, like, no, she was impaled, and then she got off of that shit, still alive. I guess they have super healing too, but then like, why did he still alive? And so what? I'm just trying to figure out how she was impaled and then fine. And like, if they have super healing, then why was he like sick? And in the movie, like, they could have thought of something else. Like, maybe she wasn't impaled in a way that would, but then she did a flip or some shit. Maybe the suit held her together did she have the juice in the suit? Because I know that's healing. So if she had the juice in the suit, and when she got injured, did the juice just, heal her or some shit? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. If y'all know, let me know. So anyways, she gets off the impalement and does a flip in front of him and damn near stabs him in the neck. Then she has this montage of how their village and her village are the same and the people matter. And then she's thinking about her brother and her family and all this other stuff. And then she realized that she needs to have some kind of alliance with this nigga, so she'll protect his land and whatever, and they'll have a truce as long as he don't destroy the world. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever, nigga. And I didn't believe it, but I wanted to believe it. And that's how these niggas get you, bitch. I was just sitting there like, don't. Maybe he's nice now and he understands and so anyways, They go back and tell everybody and shit. And then, like, Shuri goes to, what's her name? Nakia house in Haiti. And then before that, they had like a little skip over to Namor, and he talking to Namora. I don't know if that's his wife, his sister. That's not his sister. His mom died, and well, maybe they didn't show. They didn't show. I don't know. And so he talking to Namora, and she like, I can't stand that you bow down to them black people and da da. Yeah, that's what I didn't like though. Like the races should be working together. Like, why it gotta be like these two separate, you know, brown people and black people to be working together is all I'm saying. And it had to be fake. Like he basically is trying to play them. Cause he's basically gonna beg, borrow, steal, just like I said earlier, to get whatever the fuck he wants. And so he's just gonna wait till America attacks them, because America still thinks Wakanda killed all them people on that Navy ship and shit that when they found the vibranium. And so he's just going to wait till the world attacks them, and then they're gonna need his help, and then they can start the war on the world and just blame it on, oh, you attacked us first. I don't. Oh, this shit is a mean girl. He is a mean girl. I always say it. That movie is the blueprint for motherfuckers that manipulate. And it's just like, you can just play by play, see what this bitch is doing, and then just avoid it. It's like, whoo, flag on the play. We're not fucking with that bitch. She's, I'm okay. You know what I mean? But he's a mean girl. And so, anyways, Shuri is at Nakia's house, and she's going to burn the funeral clothes and finish off the tradition from her mother and her brother and stuff like that. So she's embracing and she's letting go and she's grieving and she's accepting. So part of, understanding where Namor was coming from was learning to accept herself and the things she's experienced and the losses she had. Because girl went through a lot. Girl lost all of her family, and y'all expect, I'm gonna say y'all but like, don't expect her to be like sane, right? Don't expect her to not have had that moment where she wanted to blow everything up. Like, imagine like your brother dies a year ago, and then your mom dies yesterday, and then in a week you're told that you're gonna have to fight some nigga that killed your mom and shit like that, basically in front of you. I would blow some shit up too, especially given the opportunity. Like, the opportunity was there to blow some shit. She blew some shit. So don't expect like this is normal for someone in her position with the technology that she had and the situation she was in. I would want vengeance. I would want to kill somebody too. So it is what it is. So that, I feel like it's normal. Like, in real life, like, if she didn't have all that, she was some girl, like, regular person and shit, she'd probably do some teenage shit and, like, lock herself in a room for a week and shit and cry and break shit and do all this other shit and then, like, heal. So think of it that way. Anyways, so she's crying and she's healing and she's expelling, and then here come the kid with this little boy. And the little boy is Prince T'Challa's child, and Prince T'Challa knew, and Mama knew, and everybody knew except for Shuri. It's like, okay. And like, he knows exactly who he is because his daddy came around and saw him. And he was just like, I am Prince T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. Da, da. So he know who he is. He's getting proper training because he's going to be the new Black Panther when he gets older, obviously. And we can still have the Storm and T'Challa Black Panther story. I don't care. I said what they said. It may be a while out, but that's okay. We can be patient. The next 5 years, maybe 15. That's how old them little kids is supposed to be on Spider-Man. So they have a little cute love story and shit like that. That'll be the first movie and stuff. And then we're just going to go forward, and then they're going to be like 20 in like, 10 years or some shit. It's gonna be the second Black Panther movie with him being grown, and it's gonna be like, oh, okay, yes, right, watch, because that's how it was supposed to be, and that's so sad that man died. I don't even see. And so that was the end of the movie. I hope people better understand grief through this conversation. Because that's basically what was needed, what was happening. And everything that happened was normal for the situation that was provided in that hand. So, there was nothing out of pocket really. It was just kind of like, this how you express grief. Like, whatchamacallit, Nakia had to take some space and some time to herself. Like, she couldn't handle it. And also because, they didn't want to present Son to everybody yet. So, but I think she just had to take some space. And Mama was going towards acceptance and stuff like that. Shuri was angry. The country was just bereft and anxious because they didn't know what was going to happen next. The world was sitting up there acting stupid and shit. White people trying to steal shit. And this nigga Namor over here is a sociopath. And he's just like, very traumatic things happened to me. And now I want to burn the world down. And if you get in my way, I'm going to chop your head off and eat it in front of your children. Like, see, like, he has a good cause, but he's going about it the wrong way. Like, it's just, you see, like, the response is off, not the reasons, the response. And that makes him a sociopath. Because the response is always murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. And that's not safe. So yeah, it's a good ass movie. And, people should watch it and enjoy the movie. And, have a good time. Shit, it was a good. Oh, wait, let me ground myself. Let me settle. I think it was a good movie because it showed you a real way that people transition through grief, and also touched on the real ways that people transition through grief in real life, because this is something that actually happened in real life, that they incorporated into a movie that was iconic and then lost the main character in a tragic and horrible way. And so yeah, it was good to process. I think people gonna cry, people gonna feel overwhelmed, but it's also a good ass fucking movie. Like, I ain't got much bad to say about it. It's a good ass fucking movie. They, it was actiony. They had some funny parts and stuff like that. Like, the death of this person didn't like saturate the whole movie, where he just kept being brought up. Like, we didn't even get introduced to her as Black Panther. Like, her mom didn't die till towards the end of the movie. Angela Bassett didn't die till towards the end of the movie, and then that's when we got to Black Panther towards the end of the movie. So we got a good amount of movie. Like, that first bit of it was like maybe like I don't know, like 15 minutes, like the funeral, and then a good chunk of it was like, trying to protect the vibranium, and then Namor waking up, and then fighting and shit, and finding Riri, and then going into the water with Namor and learning about his people, and then like they got Shuri back, and Mama had a reunion, and then some of it was like finding Nakia and shit. So it was like a good chunk where it was just like a movie. And then I guess like after Angela Bassett died, and then she had to go through her grieving process and then go talk to the ancestors and shit, that's when shit kind of got like, oh, this is sad. And then we had to see her like fight out the grief and shit. But like, even that fight scene on the ocean, like, she didn't come in till later. So it's like it didn't just saturate the whole fight. Like, oh, she's grieving and it's just sad. It's sad and entertaining at the same time. So they did it right. The pacing was good. Like it was a good ass fucking movie. Somebody need to win an Oscar. Shit, I liked it. Shit, but yep. Let me know how you thought and felt. If you felt good, let's give a thumbs up. Let's, share, like, subscribe, all the magicalness. If you felt bad, just keep on scrolling. Like, you don't even have to dislike. Just, oh, she talked too much. But, like, so I'm just going to keep scrolling. Okay, see, look. That's a choice. It's a choice. And you just made a good choice. Oh, my gosh. It's 12:36. Let me get the fuck off of here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the movie. And yeah, comment down below and like, share, and subscribe. And, take care. Later days.